Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Martin Dreyfus Show. Welcome to another episode of the Russia and Ukraine coverage. The ongoing offensive from Russia into Kharkiv has left decimation across the area. PBS Newshour is the place I'm currently interning with, and they did an amazing piece on it. So before I go to work, I wanted to do this quick video. So without any further ado, let's get right on into the news.
Welcome to the NewsHour. Russian missiles struck Kharkiv in Ukraine's east today, killing at least 7 civilians. Ukraine is desperately trying to hold off a new Russian offensive that threatens Ukraine's second-largest city. And U.S. officials tell the PBS NewsHour that the administration is debating whether to lift a restriction on the use of American weapons to target Russian weapons in Russia.
So this development is one of the most interesting developments of the entire war. It's been the same question, I would say, throughout the war. How far will America let Ukraine go with their missiles? Currently, they're trying to secure the air, but Zelenskyy has been asking for that since the beginning of the war. He doesn't want his cities to be bombed constantly, but America has said there's restrictions on that, which has caused a lot of casualties. And due to the delayed funding that we saw over the last year, they haven't had as many defenses. So Russia is kind of geared up for this offensive. It seems like at the perfect time when they're at their lowest point with weapons and defenses into the Kharkiv region, similar to what they did at the beginning of the war, in my opinion.
Nick Schifrin starts our coverage.
In the smoky aftermath of a Russian missile, firefighters pick through the pieces of Russia's latest battlefield of choice, books. Books turned to ash in what was one of Ukraine's largest printing houses. Russia has been bombarded.
I'm just going to quickly say, anytime libraries are burned, it especially hurts me. I think back to Rome. You're losing knowledge. I hate the idea of permanently losing history. And when we lose libraries, we lose books. And now with the internet too, we're losing history. And, although we're living through this right now, the world needs to know about this for years to come, hundreds of years to come, so they can learn from it. So it makes me sad that we've lost history.
Bombarding Kharkiv and trying to occupy towns further north, including Vovchansk, to try and bring Kharkiv city into artillery range and draw Ukrainian forces away from fierce fighting in the Donbass. In Vovchansk, there's no cover from Russian drones.
I saw that yesterday, and it really messed me up because, the car just blows up right in front of you. It gives you a clear look how little control Ukraine has over the skies and truly how much danger civilians are in. 7 civilians have already died in this offensive. And war is meant to be fought between soldiers if it's going to be fought at all. Governments shouldn't have the right to kill civilians, and that's what we're seeing, and that's breaking my heart, both here and in Palestine.
The city center has been ripped apart by Russian weapons parked right over the border inside Russia. Newly arrived Western ammunition has helped Ukrainian troops hold the line. But they can't use U.S. weapons to hit the Russian weapons in Russia that are hitting them. This week, President Volodymyr Zelenskyy told Reuters he wants that restriction lifted.
We're negotiating with partners so that we can use their weapons against buildups of Russian equipment on the border and even on their territory. So far, there is nothing positive.
That has been similar to what he's been asking this entire time. More control of the airspace, more weapons for the air, more access to use the weapons in the air. And without it, where my head honestly goes is we're kind of just leaving Ukraine in a lull. We're not letting them lose the war, but we're not really giving them a chance to win the war.
The United Kingdom has provided long-range Storm Shadow missiles, and so far the only public Western endorsement of Zelensky's request.
It is their decision about how to use these weapons. We don't discuss any caveats that we put on those things.
Ukraine also wants NATO planes inside NATO airspace to fire into Western Ukraine, so Ukraine can transfer its own air defense assets east.
The key thing is Ukraine's going to ask for as much as it can ask for. It wants as much defense as it can get. But the West is still trying to toe a very fine line, it seems like, with Russia and China. With that being said, it's hard to say what they will actually get. The UK letting them have unrestricted access, while it is interesting, they don't have the sway they used to have as far as dictating what other world powers do. So it's not necessarily going to be a domino effect, but it still is going to give an effect to Ukraine, in my opinion.
When Russian missiles are flying, Polish planes are sent up, but they don't shoot down Russian missiles? Can they do this? I'm sure yes.
Senior U.S. officials tell me while the idea of using NATO assets to shoot down Russian missiles over Ukraine is deemed too risky, there is a debate about whether to allow Ukraine to use American weapons to target Russian weapons just over the border inside Russia. And the New York Times reported today Secretary of State Antony Blinken has now endorsed that idea. So
the fact that he's endorsed that idea means that this war is about to take a very drastic change. It now means that missiles from America, UK, and other countries are going to attack on the border of Russia. What that means, we'll have to see, but that seems like what's going to happen.
should the U.S. lift restrictions on where Ukraine can fire American weapons? For that, we get two views. William Taylor was U.S. ambassador.
So we're not going to stick around for this discussion just because I really got to head to work. I just wanted to get this out for you. If you're interested, please watch the full news hour. They do amazing work. Objective news work. I'm very proud to be working with them, and I would not say that about every organization that I could work for. I do take this job very seriously about bringing you objective news. Here I do give my opinion. This is what this is meant for. It's an education piece. But as far as journalism goes, I like to show us news that is objective. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching, and thank you for staying up to date on this war. I'm concerned that these missiles are going to be sent over the Russian border because it's further towing that line of how far are we willing to go against Russia without actually fighting Russia, and when is that too far? I don't know if it's right. I don't know if it's wrong. That's not for me to decide. It's just what's going on, and it's the concerns I have. So thanks for tuning in, and have a wonderful weekend, and we will be back with some more videos tomorrow, I believe.